I made a big mistake and didn't hit the record button on the camera on Saturday. So we're gonna go over some older footage from April, not too old. We're gonna try to make Mike not look like a ghost right now. Oh, it's because your shirt's kind of green. That's why.
Shit.
No, you're fine. Just take your shirt off. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it. Yeah, it's fine now that your head's like totally opaque. And your shirt's
Oh, really?
a little see-through. It's funny.
Do we have anything coming through on Twitch? Because I'm on Twitch and I'm still seeing stream start soon.
Oh, you know what? Hold on one second. That might be something on my end. Let's do. Pause that. We'll give it a few seconds. I think it's I'm running a backup right now, so my bandwidth is probably tanked at the moment. Is it?
Yeah,
still...
because I'm getting a big buffer. Like I'll get a buffer, it'll go down to like 160 and then goes back up to 720. Now I think we're up. Yeah.
Okay. It's all good.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. If anybody's in the chat, say something. Tell us. Let us know if it's lagging or what the deal is. We should be good now. What's up, Andrew?
Yeah, this is way better. There you go. What's up, Andrew?
Andrew, is everything looking good on the stream? It's not like laggy or jumpy or anything, or super pixelated.
Oh yeah. Okay. You were still on vacation, right?
Yeah, I was. So this was, let's see. We got Gavin. Looks good, but refresh to get to play. Okay, it should be fine now.
We got Mitchell and Justin. We got Joe and Braden. I'm with Gavin. Okay, we got Luke.
Yeah,
and
Luke
Jordan.
Jordan, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Pat, Brandon, Pablo, and Kevin.
Yeah. It's before Pablo hurt his ribs, which hopefully
he's got a nasty reaping on Kevin here. This is yeah, he hurt his ribs. That's right.
I hope the walkers watch this, just to see how, in the span of maybe 6 weeks, especially with the lead up to a competition, what kind of improvements they may have made in their stand-up or
oh yeah,
or anywhere else for that matter. Gavin was throwing up an early triangle attempt on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to counter it with what he does today, it's actually pretty staggering.
Yeah.
The differences. Okay, we got Matt and Chris, and then Brandon. Other Brandon and other Jordan in the background there.
Man, I can't wait till we get the wall pads up on this side.
Yeah.
It's gonna look so much nicer.
So
Brandon,
another
arm drag.
Yeah, go behind. Yeah, or attempting to go behind, but Jordan really didn't have much of a choice here. He tried chasing him, but he just didn't have it.
Yeah, and I think so. They go into the spin cycle on this one, and I would say it's largely because of Brandon's footwork here. So as he sets up the arm drag, notice how far his feet are from Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Like his hips are back, his feet are they're further back from Jordan's feet. Bertram was going over this maybe a couple weeks ago, where on the arm drag, the initial step that I know Mike likes to take is this foot really stepping like around and almost behind, like almost directly behind the same side leg. So when you have all this space, it just opens up the opportunity for this to happen, where you get into a big spin, either the guy redrags or disengages or whatever. Here Brandon got, I don't want to say lucky, but I mean he was pressuring in and he ended up getting the takedown, but he could clean that up a bit, I think, with a little bit tighter footwork. But he lands past the guard, which is great, and now starts putting on some heavy pressure. Here's an angle to dangle. What day is this? This is April 24th, so little ways back, but not too far. Oh, good crash aversion here.
Yeah, it's still hasn't gotten any better. Like when we trained on Saturday, I think I had to have bumped into like 4 groups in 4 rolls. So
I want to look at Kevin and Pablo. So he's got his knee back here, which I wouldn't say that's the best spot to be in side control. Pablo's not really taking advantage of it though. Pablo should be trying to get his knee back in at that point, but he's working up to turtle, and Kevin's following him around, taking the early strangle threat.
Into the he had a body triangle. Now he elected to go to hooks.
Yep.
Head's in a good. His head could be in a better spot. I'd like it to be on like directly across. That's a nice pose.
Hey, cool. Pablo's putting up a good fight though here.
He really is.
He's getting a little sloppy. His hand position was kind of low, a little close to the legs early on. You are on this one, Perp Daddy. What's up, Deathcore?
What's up?
Yeah, Cole, look at that. Like, bam. Yeah, hitting that flex. What is that, single bicep or something? What's up, James? Alright, timer. Yes, Cole going with Brandon in the back.
And I'm with Josh.
Coleslaw's flex. Did we? I thought I looked back. I didn't see it on the YouTubes. I can check. I mean, it's not uncommon for Cole to like hit flexes, so may just seem familiar. Sorry, hang tight. I'm gonna check the YouTube while this is playing.
Did you back up the YouTubes when you were gone?
Oh, you know what? If you may have gone over this footage while okay, that's what it was. No, I didn't. Because I don't have those streams. All right, let's see. This was old video. We lost. We didn't lose. We didn't get Saturday's footage because I'm an idiot. Really, it's because all the other students didn't remind me to hit the record button, so it's not my fault. It's everybody else's fault. That's the story I'm sticking to. Let's see. We'll just play this for a second while I dig back and find some other footage. We could go a little further back to the old school, maybe.
Okay.
Wait a minute. When did we move in? Was it March or April? It was like April 1st, right?
Yeah. No. End of April, wasn't it? I think 1st of May was when we were targeting the first.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was April 24th, so. And I imagine. Let's see, you guys probably went over that footage too. So. Let's see. We'll get weird. I don't know. I'm going to pull some other stuff down. We'll see what it is in a few minutes. As we download. This was first class or first week. Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because we were still getting used to the whole
That makes
mat.
sense.
Like, nobody's on the right-hand side at all.
Let's see. So we'll move that. Sorry, I hate when this happens. I hate having to fix this on the fly. Thanks for sticking with us, you guys. It's been a long weekend, all right? May 11th. We do have... I don't know, that footage wasn't in a... That was in our shitty camera spot, so I don't want to pull that stuff down. Push comes
Only
to
the
shove.
Thursday class recently that we didn't review.
That was in that was in the crappy spot, the May 11th footage. So
Oh,
yeah, it's all good. This one, I think it's downloaded. So all right, we'll end this. Yeah, I never saw this footage. I didn't think we went over it. Let's try. Oh yeah, about to reminisce.
oh, geez.
Let's see. Yeah, we got some good rolls here. So let's skip ahead. We're about. There's 40 minutes of this. We can go from here.
Got Mitchell and Caleb. And Caleb's stand-up has come a long way.
Man, so is the school.
Yeah.
I mean, the oldest footage we have is like from February. I deleted a bunch of old unused stuff.
Really nice, gentle foot sweep to put Mitchell down.
Oh,
Mitchell, for
back
this, yeah, for this, when you're working in the body lock, you really have to get your hips away, your hips and your legs away from your partner. I like that, you're coming around to here, you're immediately addressing grips. This is all well and good, but whatever side you're going to be pushing on, you actually have to have like your lead leg, you blade it out towards that side, right? So wherever the hands are, you kind of shimmy, say, down to your right hand side. I want that right hip leading and out and away, and then that way it's easier to break the grip. You can even threaten a Kimura there, like
Where
if
are
your
you
partner
talking
gets
about
kind of
right
lazy. When he turns to turn away from Caleb, right
Okay.
here.
I got you.
So you see how Mitchell
Like how Steven
and
likes to do
Caleb,
it
yeah,
with a
yeah,
Kimura attack.
right, yeah, exactly. And Mitchell is standing like way too close for comfort to Caleb here, right? Like Caleb has full access to start sweeping legs and putting him down, and bumping him forward for that matter. What I would want to see is I want to see his hips coming away, so he would basically be putting like his shoulders into Caleb behind him, and then start walking his legs and hips away from his partner, kind of like where he's trying to go here, right?
Yeah, basing
But
out.
he's just, yeah, he's not able to really get any sort of significant distance between him and Caleb, and he's not really turning his hips to make himself long and make Caleb stretch around the waist.
Mhm.
So that's something that I've done in the past, and it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, it puts an immediate strain on the hands, right? It's
Yep.
gonna be really good for Caleb to have his hands in a closed grip. And when you base out like that, pushing your shoulders back and your hips forward, it becomes a little bit easier to open up the grip and escape. Pablo work into a mounted triangle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Did you see that from Gavin?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
the fake shot rolling around. That is some like once in a lifetime. You would hit that move and make a highlight reel. Sorry. Alright, we're gonna move forward a little bit with this. So I know what Caleb's gonna do here. Let's get a few more people on the mat. Oh God. What up, Joe?
So, man.
We're going old school today. I'm really bummed. I wanted to see Joe get swept and heel hooked by Cole.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't believe I didn't get that footage. I'm so angry at myself. Caleb sharpening his foot sweeps on Gavin. This is just cruel. Gavin looking for the knee cut, but doesn't quite have. He doesn't have the underhook, so a little sketchy here. It's not okay. All right, we just looked at this takedown, a similar takedown, the other day, Saturday. So picking up the single leg. This is where we talked about when we attempt singles, we don't always get the leg up the middle, to do like a run the pipe finish. So we have to look for ways to finish it, depending on where the leg ends up, whether it is on the outside and we are in between the legs, or whether it's on the other side of us and we're essentially behind our opponent. So Andrew, this was a good reaction from you. You pick the leg up and you immediately look in for the sweep, the foot sweep. This isn't wrong. This is just another variation, but I would say normally it's going to be a little bit easier, I find, for you to use this foot to reach that foot, basically using the same side leg to trip. But honestly, when Brandon's hopping like this and you're moving him forward, kicking that leg out right here, perfectly viable option. You get to play around with both. This is, we took all the mats back and trained today at the tennis center. Only select few were welcome and they had to wear their gi pants. No, Joe, I don't think you were there. I didn't get the footage from Saturday. Did not hit record, I guess. So we had to dig back in the archives to find some unaired footage. What was this? So at this point, I think Andrew probably knows a little bit better what to do here. The only thing I don't like about this, Andrew, is your top leg position. I think you could probably guess where I'd rather see that top leg. Instead of up here, I want it down in between the legs. That way you're really isolating Brandon's left leg and then going for your knee bar. Pat with the chair sit, back take, transition to the arm bar. Nice. I mean, you could think about it, Andrew, as like, if you want to attack, if you want to do a Kimura, you wrap the arm that you're attacking with both of your arms to isolate it, right? Legs work the same way. There are many ways to isolate legs and wrap them up, all sorts of different like foot configurations. But a knee pinch isn't especially strong, so you definitely want to look for having a singular leg between your two legs, and then your legs either triangled or something else. Just depending, I have to be vague because we're not talking about a specific leg position. Going for the guillotine gets us set out. Dang, Pablo almost had you in a good spot here.
He did. Yeah, he was going for that the bow and arrow here.
I hope he was, but he just seems to abandon it.
Yep.
I'm curious if maybe he was still trying, like if he's still thinking rear naked strangle, and not
Maybe.
using the gi, you know.
Mhm.
Which in this case, I'd like to see him use his free hand, his right hand, to open up the lapel and then sneak his left hand in, his strangle arm. And then it's an easy, I mean, since your hips are already out, it's a very easy transition for him to get to the bow and arrow.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of the bow and arrow strangle is, one, you have the lapel doing a lot of the work of a rope basically, but then two, if they do disrupt your leg control, your lower body control, it's not the end of the world. You get to transition to that perpendicular position, and really put on a good strangle.
He's going for a heel hook.
In the gi.
Yeah.
Good guard from Brandon. Not falling for the light passing. Yeah, and Andrew here, so you're in a good spot where you can start to work from this front headlock position, and again, since this is old footage, I feel like I always have to caveat. I'm not sure if you make the same sort of mistake now, but you just kind of sit to your butt for seemingly no reason, with control over that neck, like it looks like you're starting, you're trying to work to some style of guillotine here, but you're never going to get it sitting on your butt. So keep driving forward, keep Brandon, turtled up, or maybe even in a 4-point if he tries to start getting up. But you'll be much more effective there than you will be from on your butt, where this can happen.
Crazy watching watching Andrew now versus, and even Brandon now versus then. It's pretty incredible. I mean, this is when was this footage?
This was March 16th.
Yeah, a few months. That's incredible. That's just crazy.
We get more discussion with you and Mike. I mean, look, if you guys, I don't know, put it, let's see, I could see 8 viewers in the chat. If you guys want to watch the other stuff we had pulled up before that has already aired, I don't know if that's what you're suggesting, Cole. But yeah, if you want to go to the other footage and get more discussion with me and Mike, then I don't know, type 1.
I didn't know you guys actually like to hear us talk. Like,
yeah, I thought you guys just like watching yourselves.
Yeah, that's
what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah, type 1 in the chat if you want to watch the other footage, and we could go over it some more. Or
yeah,
we'll keep going over this stuff.
$21. I think we're getting booed out of this footage.
I guess so. I mean, so far we only have 2.
So,
if Josh
gone 3 rounds.
weighs in, I don't know, Deathcore. Maybe Deathcore didn't see it. Maybe it'll be new footage for Deathcore. Joe. Joe, what do you want to watch? I don't know, man. I know Brandon's knee has been bothering him, so he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hate to hear that.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I kind of agree, Josh. We'll let's dive into the previous stuff I had up. We'll go with this. Maybe there's some stuff that that wasn't caught. There is a lot more going on. We'll skip ahead a couple rounds here because I'm not gonna be doing this all night. So let's see. Yeah, we'll go for it. Look how busy it is.
We got Andrew and Brandon again. Look at that. It's actually a pretty cool comparison to see if they're doing similar stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, let's
so right here in the middle.
Yeah. We'll go to the beginning of the round, see what happens.
There it is.
Here we go. I'm not watching your jujitsu in a field. It makes me itchy.
So already, Andrew staying on the head and using it to pass rather than falling back on your butt, right? So from March until now, completely different reaction from, like a snap down or, collar tie in somebody's guard, right? Or trying to get around somebody's guard with a collar tie.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we might get a copyright strike if we aired Street Beef's footage and commented over it.
Yeah, I'm awfully ghosty today.
But it's not your head. It's just the
Okay.
It's just the shirt. We should get green suits and just be floating heads.
Damn, I wish I had like a blue screen instead, and then we could just switch it.
Yeah.
Just put the chroma key to blue instead of green.
Then all the matte space would go away.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Oh no,
Oops.
it wouldn't. It would only be on your camera shot. It wouldn't be on the whole screen.
Do I get muted for saying bad words?
Profanities? No.
Alright, cool. I didn't want to get yelled at by Twitch.
No. You're not red this week, so that's good.
Yeah. I haven't had enough wine.
You look like you were sitting under a heat lamp last week.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got Brandon up in Andrew's close guard. Haven't seen Jordan in a minute either.
Like the one rolling with, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually he was here on Saturday. No, he wasn't here on Saturday. Thought Justin was going to try and do something with that guillotine. He really did have something. He just needed to get down to that right hip.
Yeah.
Just didn't see him transition.
And then Andrew with a kind of a variation on a tripod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it a tripod sweep. I mean, he like picks the ankle and then forces the hips back.
Mm-hmm.
Almost, I mean, similar, somewhere between a tripod and a hip bump sweep.
Mm-hmm.
Collecting, I think Andrew probably has a bit more of a mount game these days than the footage from, what, 3 months ago now?
Mm-hmm. Pat is using some pretty solid passing attempts here on Chris. I'm like wincing as I say it just because I could see Chris like magically getting his knee in. But I really like how he's shelving Chris's left leg up with his left leg, to keep it pointed in that direction. And then he uses his arm to weave in, and he's scoop grip, like he's got a scoop grip on the top of the right thigh. So the bottom thigh, he's just cupping the top of the hamstring, and he's using his elbow and his arm to create a wedge so that Chris can't get his hips back and turn towards him.
Yeah.
And now Pat's doing a really good job of keeping his hips away, but I feel like at this point he's kind of stuck, if you will, with this type of pass. And as he lets go, Chris starts to, draw his knees back in towards him, and Pat uses his, like a high step in order to get over.
Yeah.
I think Pat, I know we've talked quite a lot about the way that I prefer to take mount, and I think generally we prefer to take mount, which is going to be knee over the waist, kind of using your knee and your shin as a seatbelt, and then trying to drive your knee high, so that it prevents that high step from getting like snagged by the legs. But otherwise, that was a really good transition.
I think I made you less ghosty.
Oh, cool.
A little bit. Yeah, I like the arm weave through the legs to keep the hips from turning back. That's something I like to use a lot.
So Justin just escaped an armbar attempt by, like, with just basic understanding of what makes up an armbar. What makes up an armbar is going to be, your arm trapped in between your partner's legs, and most importantly, it's going to be the cross face. Okay, so in this case, Jordan's left leg would cross face or go over the top of Justin's face here, right? Which he sits over, and he does a good job of getting this cross face leg in. And now, what you do with your right leg, I don't want to say it's less important, but like you have multiple configurations that you can put your right leg in. But your left leg, for the most part, that cross face is like something that you need. That's kind of like a hard rule, okay? But all Justin's doing here is he's actually using, so his right arm is attacked, his left arm is scooping under the calf or maybe hamstring of Jordan, and all he's going to do is push the leg over his head and sneak his head in between. And if he has both his head and his arm in between the legs, and now he's going to have both of his arms in between his leg, in between the legs and the head, there's nothing. Like, there's absolutely no threat of a submission here, and he ends up in close guard. Now, if he didn't get the arm through, right, he had one arm in and one arm out, and then the head in between the legs, then he's in trouble. He's got a threat of a triangle, right? But he made sure that both of them were in the same spot, and again, wound up keeping safe with like basic principles. Another threat, and again, keeping true to the principles. He knew he was in trouble, and he dives his shoulder through to prevent the crossface.
Who's Cole training with? Maybe Steven?
I think that's me. I think this is when he wrecked me, when he was prepping for the comp.
Okay.
You should fast forward, or rewind back to the start of this match.
I don't know if Cole did anything good. I feel like he would have told us by now.
I can't remember if you can see it, but like right off the start, yeah. He just buries my head in his chest and just pile drives me down to the mat.
I mean, like, he didn't even. He just stepped around your guard and then stepped right over your body. You're like, oh. Okay.
I was like, oh, and then I just sat down.
Nice. Okay, cool. So we're right about here.
Yeah, I did nothing this entire round. I remember this vividly.
He's really trying to get to your back right now. He's got, I feel like he's got good leg position. Like, I don't care about the hook. It's just a matter of can he get that back knee up the body. Yeah, now you slipped the arm wrap and got safer.
It's a gamble, like, but when somebody is like aggressively attacking a back take, I can start to I can get my arm in a place to where you think that it's really good for you to take my back, and I use that somehow in order to sneak my legs in order to get a butterfly hook in, and then a quick hip switch gives me inside position and a regard, right? Basically, is what it turns into.
Yeah.
But it's short-lived, if I remember this correctly.
Round ends like right here. Matt is Matt right here with Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. I mean, there's no other way to really say it. Just bad posture, bad body position on this one. Just bad as in he's leaving himself very vulnerable to a sweep.
Yep.
Josh has the underhook on the top side. Matt has his leg up, which makes it very easy for Josh to elevate with the butterfly hook, which I don't even think Josh has to do. He just kind of rolls him here. He had a little scissor sweep action and gets the roll. Matt may be a little tired though, so I'd give him the benefit of the doubt, just getting a little sloppy towards the end. Cole just laying on heavy pressure. There's the round.
Josh and Cole.
Chris and Cole. Josh and Luke.
Oh, Josh and Luke, sorry. It's me and Braden.
Josh is in a great passing position right now. This is how I pass Luke. It's always from this flattened out half guard where I have a crossface and an underhook, and I'm fighting against Luke's half guard, whether he uses a lockdown or whatever. This is really good. He's planting that bottom foot, trying to get the knee up. That's what I'm talking about. There it is. Luke transitioning to capture the trailing leg though. Here we go. Yeah, the only reason, man, you lost that was really good all the way through. I don't think you have enough control over the head when you do this. You could see you kind of like rip your own grip out, you know, like you didn't have a fully tight arm wrap here. I think less about yanking him over you and just take your time. You're already in a great position where Luke has a very difficult time turning towards you, so you can keep this move. You can do it nice and slow and secured and be on his back rather than fighting for some plan B clamp guard kind of stuff. Luke doing some defensive stacking now until he could slip the arm and work his pass. That was great though, Josh. I hope you recognize the utility of half guard in passing. Like, get to half, try to get around the knee shield. However, there are various ways to do that. But then flattening them out like that, it's so difficult to shut down the pass from there. And for those of you getting caught there, that's where you'd want to do things like knee levers, try to start winning back some of the inside position.
Mitchell was being a bit acrobatic with Pat here, getting around his legs.
Doing some body surfing, a little jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pat trying to track him and catch that leg right on the end, but didn't get enough of it to make a difference.
Yep.
You're gonna show him everything you learned. Yeah, he's back tomorrow, right?
I think so.
Luke was holding onto his leg for seemingly no reason. Another example, Matt and Pablo caught in the spin cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And just no stepping behind the legs, not shutting down your opponent's ability to square up with you and just redrag, so you end up just spinning until somebody goes down or disengages.
Yeah, I mean, like, I might be thinking about this the wrong way, but the arm drag, I think, only works in the, like, that Keikaiatsu, whether it's right versus left or left versus right scenario, right? Like, you have to step, if
It
you're going to arm
helps.
drag with the right, yeah.
It helps a lot.
Yeah, because you have to be, their lead leg has to be opposite of your lead leg, and whichever arm you're dragging has to be their lead leg, right? And you have to step through it, and then block their shoulder with your chest.
Yeah, it's not impossible for Maiatsu, but it's just one of the ones that lends himself to a Kenkaiatsu stance for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, what we're talking about is if you were standing with your right leg forward and your opponent was standing with their left leg forward, then that's a Kenkaiatsu stance where your opposite legs are forward. We should try to hit one of those tomorrow and get it recorded, and then we could just demonstrate it on the next one. Or I'm sure Brandon will just do it.
I was going to say,
Brandon.
yeah, leave it to Brandon. He'll do it.
Ooh. In on a Remy, but Luke's just peeling the legs open. When you get there, Josh, make sure you're doing something with it. Take Luke either outwards or over this way. Straight back, you're kind of fighting against his back leg, so it's probably not going to be successful in that direction. But take him across the body and look for either the sweep or for heel exposure, depending on which way you go. Chris was just about to pass with a knee cut here. And then I guess Cole is maybe shooting for a Kimura?
It's what it looks like.
And then Chris just slips the elbow. Okay. Lands past the guard. Ooh, Matt coming out of nowhere, attacking the rear naked strangle on Pablo.
Pablo getting on top and
Getting totally
immediately
safe.
passing straight in the mount.
Yeah. Looking very comfortable playing from the back.
Yeah.
So he's in a, I don't know if he realizes he's in more of a wrong way triangle position. Matt checks the clock. Interesting. Ooh, here we go.
Foot stuck in the shirt.
Just slap him in the face. Good reaction from Cole.
Yep.
Josh trying to wrestle up like that. Yeah, Josh, I feel like this is a tough one. If you had just gotten your feet back a little further, you may have been able to save this. Cole's just able to kind of hang his weight on you and keep you from stepping backwards, so he's going to win that scramble. Nice sweep. Very nice.
Jordan and Mitchell, Brandon, Pat.
Luke and Kevin blocking it all.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, so we got Jordan with Chris, and he has Kesa, but again, the vulnerability of what the. Oh, okay. So here's the vulnerability of this Kesa without the arm, right? The standard Kesa Gatame. You can see Chris taking his right arm up and immediately attacking the neck. There's nothing keeping Chris down here. I could be willing to bet that his left arm is not in any sort of trouble. It's kind of hanging on by a thread here. And as soon as he gets his elbow down to the mat, there's really no risk for Chris anymore. Yeah. So he's going to come up immediately, sink in the strangle arm with his right hand, and then he's jumping straight onto the back.
Nice.
Now he has a really bad angle here, but if this strangles in deep enough,
might not matter.
It may not matter. I'd really like to see Chris diving over to his right, like to our left, his right, in order to get that finish.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to tell. Josh, that was a really good kip.
Yeah, missed that.
Hands on the hips. Very nice. Straight into Ashi. Big back step from Cole, which I really like. Brandon and Pat are in 50-50. And Brandon is in a really bad spot right now.
Yeah, Pat's got his hips on the outside of Brandon's knees, which is right where you want to be when you want to break someone's knees.
Yep.
Attacking the near side leg. Switching back to 50.
And
dang. Brandon was game
he
for it,
actually
though.
Yeah, he attacked the far side.
Yeah, he got the secondary leg with the straight ankle.
Yeah. It's not going to be a very common finish. You won't find that a lot. You will when somebody's nervous around leg locks, but
yeah,
there shouldn't be a whole lot more extension than what Pat was able to apply right there. Right, he wouldn't have been able to go into a full break. It was going to make it uncomfortable.
Yeah, his hips were very close to Brandon's hips, which we've talked about recently. The differences in hip position for straight ankles and heel hooks.
Yep.
If you don't know what we're talking about, ask us in class. We'll go over it there.
Isn't it because it's Kazura? Isn't it Kazura? Kesa Gatame is the one with the arm.
Yeah, Kasura, I think.
Kasura.
Yeah, yeah, that's where Brandon finds himself here, which I really like how Brandon uses Kesa here. This is how I use it. This is how I like to see it used. Maybe that's, it's because I do it that way, but I I don't hang out here too long. I like Brandon he hits the knee cut, he steps up, he switches his hips back, and he gets his guard pass, and he settles into a pin. You know, if you want to hold your opponent there, you know, because you're a judoka, then sure, that'll maybe win your match or get you points or however judo's scored. But for jiu-jitsu, it's either you're gonna give up your back, or you know, you're gonna have to transition to something sooner than later. You might get one of the arm, you know, the finishes with his arm tangled in your legs, but I just use it to get my guard pass and then continue progressing forward. Ooh, Pat with a sneaky armbar there. Really good off balancing from Pat.
Yes, very nice.
Ooh, Luke and Cole. Off screen. So slow to start this round, you guys. Except for Jordan. Jordan was right on it.
Get over here!
Eric, thank you for the follow.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, this is not live. Now, what we do is we record our open mats at our school and then review the footage here on Twitch so our students can watch, and anybody else who has an interest in jiu-jitsu. And then we break down what we see and give tips and criticisms and make fun of you guys and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, no, we're live.
Oh yeah, no, we're live.
We're definitely live. Welcome to the chat. Alright, so let's see. Jordan gotta deal with this ankle right now.
Well, we appreciate that.
Hey, yeah, that means a lot, man. Should have seen it when we started. It was garbage. So Jordan, you're doing, yeah, there we go. There's gonna be a bit of a, I don't know, there's two ways to handle this, like, or at least there's more than one way, but you gotta kind of sense when you can step this leg out. Right now is when you kind of catch it, right? Brandon has opened his legs up. He doesn't have his ankles crossed or like pulled back or anything. That's a good time where you can just slip it. Earlier than that, like right around here, this is where was it? You've got this heavy chest pressure. He captures there. Where was it? You were giving this downward pressure. This is where I'd like to see you, yeah, you're controlling the face here. You're controlling which way he's turning. That's where you can pull your free leg over and try to, you can either try to work like the foot wedge. His knees are kind of pointing away, so it might be a little difficult unless he really
You want him to
tries
take him out?
Sorry?
You want him to take him out? Is that weird?
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it for sure. Just it's if his knees are pointing away from you, it might be hard to find his ankle to wedge it open, but the general progression of an elbow escape, he's going to turn his knees back in the other direction to try to get his bottom leg back into a knee shield position. So there's going to be a point where like the knees will be more accessible.
Yeah, Eric, we're coaches at the school. We've got or at Mooresville BJJ here in North Carolina.
Do you train yourself, Eric? We are brown belts.
Yep.
So we don't know everything, but we know enough.
Enough to know nothing.
Yeah, very Socratic, right? Or
Yeah.
Plato? One of them.
One learned from the other. I don't know.
It was Plato. Plato was saying he was he was wise because he knew how much he didn't know. This is also a
That'd be
philosophy
platonic.
stream. We talk a lot about philosophy. That's when
It would
everybody
not be
leaves.
platonic. It just kind of sounds like it would be.
Someone was just hovering over the subscribe button before we started talking about
I know, right?
philosophy. And you know, we're giving some advice to Jordan here, but Brandon, like you're doing good capturing the ankle. You're stalling out here in this elbow escape position. You really need to work to get that bottom knee through up into here so you could capture Jordan's knee. And easier said than done, I know, especially now. Jordan's taking away the inside elbow position. There, you're trying to sneak it back in. Yeah, it's not going to work as long as I could see your elbow here. I really need to see it inside the leg. That's where it's going to be most effective.
Yeah, man, if life allows, like, obviously we fully support training jiu-jitsu, but understand everyone's got different stuff, so
Support is my
it
friend.
just happens that way. But you live on an island. We have another follower that lives on an island, right?
Yeah, out in Curacao. Yeah.
Curacao, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's really good to hear that on island, like on small countries and islands and stuff like that, jiu-jitsu is becoming more of a thing. So
Hopefully more accessible.
yeah.
It's tough, man, when it's a small community.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Long Island. Shut up, Jordan. Yeah, if you can put something together in a small community like that, it's I don't know. I think it's really cool. It's
I
difficult
agree.
to do, but it's certainly rewarding.
Yeah.
But if you're currently in a stopped period, Eric, I would highly recommend starting again if you can.
Absolutely.
Of course, you know, if you're not injured or something like that. What belt level did you get up to? Luke trying for an ultra high mount on Cole.
Now going for the chair sit back take.
When we get to the end of the round. It sucked most of that. I think most of that round they spent off screen. You couldn't really see too much
Yeah.
what was going on there. Looked like a lot of just Luke doing Luke stuff.
We'll try and regard.
Yeah, which I think post-surgery, post-recovery, it's going to be a lot more fun to watch Cole regarding against everybody after the work he's been putting in lately.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Luke pinning the knees and just stepping over real heavy. Now pummeling the face over. And looking for the smother. Well, probably looking more for the arm triangle here, but... Cole making it very difficult to get the arm in the position that Luke needs for that. Two exams left. Oh yeah, I mean, if you're in college, it's a significant priority. Done it for like years. So I was 17. But almost a lot of people over 17, so kind of funny. Discovered. It was at the same time.
Boxing's awesome. I just never had well, I don't have the eyebrows for it. I'll tell you that. I barely have the eyebrows for jiu-jitsu.
Bloody Mike in the chat. Yeah, boxing's great. The only thing I hate about it is getting punched in the face.
Yeah, and unfortunately, people just don't let you hit them. So
yeah.
you gotta take a few punches yourself.
Yeah, I definitely, Eric, I definitely gravitated towards grappling over striking, just to avoid any any CTE and constant punishment and bloody noses and broken noses and black eyes. I get all those things here, just to a lesser extent. And normally it's from white belts. A couple gifts from a white belt every once in a while. Let's see who's Jordan starting off with here. It's Jordan and Pat. Let's see how he... Just a quick little step around the guard. Not even much of a distraction. I think you just caught Pat thinking there.
Justin's trying to get out of half guard here with Brandon, and he's slowly setting up a threat to the Kimura, and then back. Oh, I think he backed off to get out of Cole's way.
Drop it for a second. Oh yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Brandon's doing the right thing and trying to get his knee shield back in and starting to build his frames back out. This is good work on Brandon. Yep.
So he shot for that Kimura, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about a Kimura from bottom half guard. Where I mean I guess if you're on your back you can do it. Like I mean that's where I see Luke trying to hit it a lot, just from this posted position. Yeah, I guess it's good.
You have to really commit to it. Yeah, I mean you certainly have to. But what kind of really bothers me here is that he has deep and he doesn't seem to realize it. Right, his right arm, if he scoops through the left leg or the left thigh of Justin, he can really start to off balance him and send him over towards the lion. You know.
See, I've been doing BJJ. First time I ever stepped on the mat was probably, how old was I? How old am I now? Jesus, 8 years.
Yeah, I started in 2015. So it's 8 years now.
And then other sports, yeah. I mean, I was a weightlifter before I ever did jiu-jitsu.
I played golf.
You consider that a sport? Not all colleges do, apparently. And then, other standard stuff. All the stuff that kids do. Little league growing up, soccer. Never football. I'm a little too small for football. It could be a kicker, maybe. What Jordan do here? It's Jordan and Matt on the side. So Jordan makes his way to mount. And smothers, I think. I think he gets a smother here. I don't see... maybe it was an arm lock on the other side. Do we get injuries? Give us... Nah, dude, you gotta pay for that flex. Subscribe to my OnlyFans so you get all the flexes you want. Did we get injuries? Yeah, we're constantly injured. Never did any competitive, which I admire you said. So we've done competitions. A lot of the people on the screen have done competitions. I'm a professional hobbyist, I would say. I don't really have a strong competitive streak in, or I compete when I feel like when a bunch of people are going out for it. I like to sign up, but I haven't done any IBJJF things. It's normally just like local competitions, Nagas, new breeds, all that stuff. It's a nice way to test yourself. Plus, when you're my size, I'm 155 pounds maybe, and I don't get too many 150 pounders in the training room, so it's one place where I can actually match up against people my size. So it's nice to do it every once in a while, but I'm not trying to be the best in the world at it. So Matt with the armbar.
That was nice.
Yeah, you can definitely be a good coach, a good teacher, and not have a competitive background. They're two entirely separate skills.
I feel like Justin is really trying to get to the twister.
I didn't even see that. How did he get here? So he's been... Okay, he got to the back. He's in the high ball ride.
Yeah, and he's trying to make it into a crossbody by capturing or taking control of the top arm because he's got the bottom leg.
Yeah, there he's slipping the arm through. I always find the hardest part being getting this arm through on the twister. Yep. I can get my head under, but getting the arm under is difficult.
It is.
Yeah, Cole's never been injured.
Mm-mm.
Ever. And currently is not. We'll see Mitch mess him up here, though. I've honestly known more people get injuries. We alluded to that on stream last week or last Sunday, but I'm sorry, last Wednesday. But like people at work when they get together for like their sports and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've known people who've shattered their collarbones playing ultimate frisbee. Yeah, that Cole.
Ultimate frisbee can get rough, man.
Bro, it's I've seen so many people get injured doing that or like any other recreational sport. Whereas, you know, we've had our share of injuries throughout the years. It just kind of happens when you're doing a combat sport. But I feel like most of the stuff we suffer from is just like nagging, chronic aches and pains and stuff. The occasional pec tear. Dislocated
I mean, it sounds
fingers.
way cooler to get injured in a competition or doing jiu-jitsu rather than playing kickball or something, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I went out on my shield, bro.
nah, yours will be fine. Wear headgear
Yeah. I got it.
if you're worried about your ears.
Getting your knees popped, yeah, it could definitely happen. Like that's where if you have a good coach and good training partners, that risk drastically decreases as long as you're not deep up in you who has knees made of bubble wrap apparently. But yeah, like I don't know. I mean, you can worry about your knees popping the same way you can worry about your elbow popping. So it's all we're trying to break each other's limbs, right? You just have to trust each other to stop when you tap and to not slam moves home immediately when you get there. All those little things. It's what makes a training partner a good training partner.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust built into this sport, right?
Yeah.
We all have to trust that when we tap, the person's going to stop. And we also have to trust that like our training partners know when to tap. That's another big area. And when you have people that are new into the sport, they may think they're okay, but there's really in some of the submissions that we do, Kimura is a really good example. There's not a lot of pain before you start getting into tearing or break, you know, like the tearing of ligaments or tendons, right? So the pops are the only thing that you get. So that's where the big, like what Matt was saying, a good coach and a good room of training partners comes in, because then you know the safe range of motion and when to stop and when you should feel danger and when you're safe.
Brandon got a little too overzealous with the guard pass here. He was
Yep.
in a great position, escaping the triangle threat. He steps behind Pablo's legs and has Pablo pointed away from him. Right here, this is really, really good. I wish he would have taken a little bit more time instead of high legging over like this and just giving Pablo a chance to get his guard back. Gets a butterfly in.
Tries to slide his hips back because he thinks he has the mount.
That's interesting, Cole. I guess I never thought about that either. Cole said he never once at class or open mat got hurt. Yeah, like I feel like most of your injuries, either acute or just nagging, come about from competition. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had my elbow pop the one time. Well, I shouldn't even say that. I had a ligament tear in my elbow at comp. That was the only major thing I think I had. I'm also not gonna typically let anything pop for $5 medal. So that's where you gotta let your or get your ego out of the way. If you've been caught, you've been caught, and just tap and be done. Cole about to get tapped. Damn, Mitch almost had him. There's the round. I think we got 1 round left here. So guys, every time.
I mean, being hygienic this should always come with the sport. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but good hygiene is imperative. You can get some really nasty shit. Not just jiu-jitsu. I mean, obviously, like wrestling or any hockey, right? Like, people get really bad staph infections from not cleaning their gear and stuff. So, no, hygiene's great. It's a good way to be.
Cole hits a well-timed butterfly sweep here. I think Jordan was getting ready to try to like jump over the guard, or at least jump to a side. And Cole just says, "Cool, keep it going."
Yep, that's the power of sticky hooks.
Is this all we got? Do you guys just sit here and talk this whole time? There. Oh yeah, you're going over the triangle stuff. We'll watch Cole here with Jordan. Zoom in on this.
We gave the people what they wanted. We talked.
That's right. You guys wanted banter. You got bantered. So now Cole needs to look to get his left ankle free, or right ankle free, sorry. Gets it, transitions to mount, and is working from a good spot. Steven and I talked about this earlier today, around some... Thanks, bro. Talked about this around some mount positional sparring we were doing, where when you get to mount, it's so much nicer to get to mount when you already have an underhook established, and Cole does here. He managed to transition to mount with that underhook on Jordan's left arm already established, and that makes his job a lot easier from here. When you and because of that, I think it's perfectly reasonable for him to have this heavy chest pressure on the face, moving forward, being heavy. If he didn't have that, and Jordan had his arms in front of his chest, and Cole had to fight for underhooks, that's where I'd like to see someone in a more upright position, because it's going to be really hard to dig an underhook out when you're leaning your chest over top of them and putting downward pressure on. Once you guys, if you find that you've lost your underhooks, don't hang out. I mean, right there, you see Jordan just managed to hit a little bit of a bridge, captures the leg. Cole kind of transitioned off just to ride there for a second, and that's when Jordan decided to make an escape to side control, or Cole may have opted to transition. But when you lose those underhooks, just sit up. Don't stay heavy. Now you're in the risk of a kipping escape, where your opponent can start to get their arms across your hips and go to work, like we saw Josh doing earlier. So there's a time to be heavy, a time to be a little more upright in mount. Who owns the club?
We've got 2 owners.
No,
yeah.
No one important though. No. Coach Luke and Coach Mike. They're the
Luke
co-owners.
was on the stream earlier in the Kamano rash guard. Mike doesn't train on this day.
I don't know if you know who Tondo Blas is, but if you follow the jiu-jitsu scene, but we're affiliated under his academy. All right, looks like Pablo and Brandon are getting back to it. I'm glad Pablo's taken no time to decide he wants to make use of the body triangle. I'd like to see him have a little bit more faith in it, but he's transitioning through some attacks pretty well here.
Brandon has to sense that he's really not in a lot of danger without. Like, I mean, Pablo may have a really solid pinch here, but I really want to see Brandon stacking. Basically, anytime that your partner is pulling their heels to their butt, right, and they've got a bend in their legs, makes them like incredibly easy to stack and put them on their back. So Brandon, who's on bottom right now, could very easily either pendulum his legs up or just simply turn to his right and get Pablo down on his back, begin to stack and shimmy that right elbow free. But instead, he's electing to stay on his back and kind of just try and stall Pablo out here, maybe. And maybe that was the intention. I don't know if they maybe had a gentleman's agreement beforehand, but I just would like to see him actively trying to escape.
Yeah, and for Pablo, for both of them, notice what you have here. There's no arm hooking the primary arm that is being attacked. So Brandon's right arm's the primary arm. Pablo doesn't have a single arm hooking on that. All Brandon has to do, in fact, Pablo's actively pulling towards him in this direction. There's nothing stopping Brandon from turning that way and just sucking his elbow down to the mat, and he's totally safe then. So you've got to recognize when you have freedom of your primary arm to get safe. Right now, Brandon could totally get safe. He's just hanging out. Now Pablo maybe said, ooh, I should probably have that arm under control. He goes back. But he's just experimenting with some grip breaking, which that's a skill in and of itself. There's the stack.
We've got all walks, man. All different professions and backgrounds. I don't know that we have any one type.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu attracts everybody.
Yeah.
Got a lot of, really, in the first week that we were ever open, we had a guy in his 70s sign up and hang out for a little while until he moved back to Germany.
Oh, yeah.
Leo, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, I remember him.
But yeah, no, kids from like 5 to 35. Pablo with the sweep, getting to top position. Good back take. He had much more opportunity to get his legs in than I think he made use of. To me, that's just, it's indicative of just him needing to understand priorities a little bit more as he gets to that position. He knows he needs to get legs in, but seeing the opportunities early on and taking advantage of them is something he could probably stand to work on. What did Beefcake do over here? Jordan goes for the armbar, but doesn't get the crossface leg. And Cole does
until there. So he goes over, and then he gets it underneath there. Cole dives in between the legs again. Now he's in more of a threat of a triangle than he is of an armbar. He's trying to pull, and then he's extracted his arm, and now he's back in top position.
Yes, sir, North Carolina. All right. I think that wraps
End of
it
round.
up.
End of day.
Good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed going over that footage a second time. Apologies for not getting Saturday's footage. It won't happen again. I gotta mess up like once a year just to remember not to do it. So this is my one for 2023. From Denmark. Well, welcome from Denmark, man. Thank you for hanging out and chatting with us. We really appreciate it whenever the chat is active, whether it's one visiting student because our deadbeat regular students don't want to talk. From Denmark, what would you give as advice?
Go train.
Yeah, man, get back on the mats.
Get back on the mats.
A broad, vague question gets a broad, vague answer, but yeah, just go train, man. Well, obviously, of course, take care of your priorities. You're a student, I take it, or you said you had exams.
Sounds like it.
Do what you got to do. Take care of all your priorities, And if the mats are calling you, man, don't ignore it. Just get back and dive in. Find the stuff that interests you. You can, if there's a fighter that you like or a jiu-jitsu professional that you like, watch a lot of their footage, take it to class, study their game, have fun with it, and just be curious. I think the guys who learn the fastest are the guys who are the most curious. So just go in
And come
there
back and join us too on Wednesdays and Sundays. So
Yeah.
At this time,
yes, sir.
both days. If you're curious, if you want to see what people are doing here in North Carolina, come and join us, join the chat, and we can answer questions then too. So
Yeah,
feel
of
free to
course.
stop by.
Yeah, if you when you do start training again, man, if you have questions and you want something beyond what your coach tells you, you can always ask us too. Thanks everybody. Really appreciate you hanging out on your Sunday night, watching some old footage and dealing with our technical difficulties. So we'll do better next time. Wednesday's stream will be tomorrow's footage. So thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, bro. Follow us here if you're lurking in the chat. Subscribe here if you can. Use your Twitch Prime. It really helps us out a lot. You can also support us at YouTube and at coffee.com/mobjj. Damn, coming up on 180 followers almost. Pretty wild.
Whoa.
Big time. We're famous.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I'll tell my mom that.
Yeah. All right, what else? I think we're back to half guard tomorrow. We'll be starting our half guard, 2 weeks of half guard. So get ready for that. That should be a whole lot of fun. We'll get smashed by Luke for 2 weeks and do our best to smash him. So we'll leave it at that. You guys go trim your nails and do your laundry and don't be stinky. And we'll see you on the mats.
Later.
See ya.